So hello again and welcome to Kitely, back to Kitely. It's been 2 weeks, so I hope you can remember what we were talking about last time. And if you look around you, you'll see that the actual surroundings have changed a bit. That's going to be the beginning of our talking point, and we're going to carry on with the reading text we started 2 weeks ago. Of course, I was buried up to my ears in German books last week, so that's why the session didn't run. Although maybe some of you met up anyway. That would be cool if you did. It's always up to you, though. Remember, I'm not going to bully you into doing it. So it's let's talk about it. And can anybody tell me, where do you think we are in the world? If you can't see the surroundings, let me know. But it shouldn't just be all white. You should be able to see around you some kind of picture. Yeah, Shiny, I think with your connection, you're great to me as well. So generally, if your connection's not that strong, you won't be able to see the surroundings. Anybody can see anything to describe to the others, maybe? Tough guy, no. Okay, what I'll do is I'll share the stream with you. Okay, because I am streaming, because of this problem some of you have, I am streaming to YouTube, so you can then see what I can see, if you get what I mean. But I've got to find the actual link for you first. That's always a bit of an adventure. Live streaming it is, isn't it? Okay. And it's streaming now, which is good. My stream health is good. And I've just got to find the link, which is always hidden. Ah, here it is. Okay, so. Okay. So if you use that link. April, can you see anything around you?
Yeah, I see just a city with look like a building, look like a shopping center. A lot of cars in the parking, and a lot of palm trees.
Yeah,
Palm
we're
trees, I
surrounded
think.
by palm trees. Although I think you made the
Yeah.
observation earlier, it's been raining here.
Ah,
Or did you mean where
but
you are?
I'm not sure where it is. I'm not sure where it is. It
Where?
is.
Well, let's go for the world. Where in the world do you think we might be? Any ideas? Any clues anywhere? I mean, you can see it's raining because there's somebody with an umbrella up there. As you say, the car park's pretty full. Big building, maybe a shopping centre, yeah, maybe. I'm wondering if we can read any of the actual
No,
car
it's
number plates, but we
blurred.
can't. What a shame. That's always a good clue, car number plates. But palm trees, probably not in the UK. We do get palm trees in Torquay, but we're not in the UK. Anybody got any idea? We are in America. Now, who can remember?
Florida, maybe.
Well,
Florida.
here's a clue. Who can remember what we were talking about last session? What were we reading about? Can you remember?
No, I wasn't here.
Ah, well, that's a good excuse. Who can tell April what we were reading about? If you weren't here, you're not the United Arab Emirates. No, Manju. Good guess. But I think if you look at the sky, it's a bit grey for the UAE, I think. Although I'm sure it rains in the UAE too. But the palm trees would probably fit quite well. But we're actually in the USA. Okay. We're in America. Shiny, can you remember what I'm sure you were in the session. Can you remember what we read about? Or Reem? Nina, I can't remember if you were there. I think you might have been. Tough guy you were, but only for part of it.
Uh,
Okay, I'll give you the link to the actual article then. And it was about our high-tech world. Too much information. Oh, hi, Reem.
hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm not sure. I'm fine. I'm fine, thanks. I'm not sure, but I think about information. We talk about information, the large information data.
Okay, yes, that's right. We were talking about too much information. Remember, information uncountable. We say too much information, information overload. And Reem has actually got it. We are in Silicon Valley now. Where in Silicon Valley? Which company do you think in the world might be responsible for the...
I see. We can, I don't remember, but I remember there are two companies wanted to manage with others.
Yep, but we're talking about where we might be in the world now, and everybody's got it. We're at Google HQ. This isn't a shopping centre, April. It's Google HQ.
But by the way, the view in YouTube, on the stream YouTube, different totally from here. I am here not see only the chairs and we are set here, but in stream
You're great.
they are totally yeah.
You're great, yeah. It's the connection, I'm afraid. As you can see,
Yes.
Rima and April, but Shiny and you are grey. But it's okay, you're grey. You're not naked, you're just grey. You've got your clothes on, you've got your shoes on, you've got your hair on. But no, I don't know what the solution is to that. Just better bandwidth around the world is the only solution, I'm afraid.
Yes.
April saying doesn't look we don't say environment friendly, we say environmentally friendly. It doesn't look environmentally friendly. In what way, April? Take the mic, don't type.
There are too many cars.
Too many cars, yeah, good
And,
point. Maybe they're all electric cars made out of cardboard.
Yeah, but I had I was thinking about Google when I saw this, but I think no, Google then there must be a lot of bicycles because they advise.
Well, I can give you I can give you. There's a lot of palm trees. Yes. I wonder how many they chopped down to build it. I can give you the actual coordinates. So these are the coordinates for the Google map. Okay, so later, if you want to, go to Google Maps. It's like a little tongue twister. Go to Google Maps, enter those coordinates, and you can maybe explore a little bit. Have a look around, see if you can find the bike sheds. Okay, but we were talking about information overload, and come on, Google has become the biggest provider of information in the world. I think we can all agree with that. And I don't know, do you use Google search or do you use a different search engine? Let's do a quick poll. Marco, what search engine do you use to get information?
Google.
Google.
I'm using Google.
Yep. April?
Yeah.
Yes, I use Google too. They advise me every time to use Yahoo search because it is more safe, secure, they said. But I don't like that. I don't know why.
It's funny, isn't it?
Search.
Yeah, even I get the same from Bing as well, by the way. Reem, what search engine do you use? Nina, always Google. Shiny, Google and Wiki. Do you get to Wiki via Google? Yes. Reem, yes?
Yes, I use Google every time.
Yeah, Google. It's the ooh sound. Google.
Google.
That's it, yes. Manju, hello, welcome. What search engine do you use, Manju? I hope you can hear me. I don't know. Manju's the name I've got over Manju's head, so I don't know. I'm not sure if Manju can hear us, though. I've sent him a private message. So, Shiny Google, Nina always Google. Tough guy?
Google.
Google. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? Okay, Tram wants to join us as well. Whoa. I can't offer her teleport. Why not? Weird. She's done it again. Oh, no, I can't. I'm going to send her to Google headquarters if I send her that. Cut and paste. Okay, can't teleport you. You've done something to... Okay. So, anyhow, I'll just do a very quick update on what we read about last week, see if it kind of reminds you. It was about information overload, and it was how it can negatively impact on our sleep. If you remember the circadian rhythm, our sleep patterns, how our memory can suffer, how it can affect our relationships negatively as well. Okay, you're welcome, Traum. Hello. There is a seat next to Rima if you want to sit down. Okay, but we didn't quite finish last week. So let's see, who's the first person to speak to me today? Who gets to read first? Let's see. I have to scroll up quite a way. And it was April. So April, you'll be the first to read.
Really? It never happened.
Well, it was then, Shiny. Remember, it says in text chat, not who spoke to me first, but who wrote to me first. Then Tough Guy. Then Marco, Rima. Then Manju. If Manju figures out how to make voice work. Nina. And then Reem. And then Traum. Okay, if everybody has a chance to read. So we've got this article I want us to finish off, then we'll talk about it a little bit, and then I've got a new article that we can start reading if we have time. Okay, so you might like this one, you might not, April, but here's your text. You might wonder why I'm giving you this. Okay, there's your text, April.
Okay, thank you. Brain processing may suffer. Your brain is a beast at processing stimuli. However, even the most powerful processor can get bogged down when exposed to too much stimulation. With noise coming from all directions, glaring lights and flashing signs all around us, the brain inadvertently picks up everything and has to process it all. If you have tried working in a busy, noisy office, you probably found it hard to work at peak efficiency, and this is a symptom of the brain being overstimulated. Even when you go home, you probably spend time on the internet or binge watching your favorite series. Maybe you are one of those people who checks their phone messages in bed when you should have begun winding down for a good night's sleep. That's me.
Aha! I think that's all of us nowadays. Okay, before we discuss that, let me just give you a little bit of feedback. There's a lovely little phrasal verb here, to get bogged down, to be bogged down, to feel bogged down. Anybody know what that means? Have you ever felt bogged down by anything?
Is it in relation with the bog?
No.
With the bog? No.
Although you could see the sort of euphemistic connection if you think about what a bog does to you. Have you ever tried to walk through a bog? It's not easy. It's hard work. The mud drags at your feet. You can't run. You have to sort of slog your way through. So if you're bogged down by something, you're held back by it. If you're bogged down by too much work, you can't get anything else done. You're just slogging your way through the work as if it's holding you back. If you're bogged down by family, you have no time for yourself. You're constantly doing stuff for the family. To feel bogged down, to be bogged down by something. Okay? And then, so try it, April. Bogged down.
Bogged down.
That's it, yeah.
Bogged down.
And then your favourite one, not favourite, not favorite, favourite.
Hello.
Favorite.
Yay, we've got voice from Manju. Hello, Manju. Hi.
Hi there. Hello,
Hi,
guys.
we can hear you. We can hear you. Well done. Excellent. Were you bogged down by the controls, how to get voice working?
Okay.
So, I'm not sure if you heard my question. What search engine do you use usually, Manju?
I didn't get you.
What search engine do you usually use?
I use Google search engine. Basically, it provides lot of auto suggestion. I like auto suggestion, even though I don't know what to search. If I search only 2-3 words, it will suggest the rest of the words. So I like it much, and as well as it will provide multiple search results. That's great. I mean, Google search engine is a very advanced one, so I like Google search engine.
Excellent. Yeah, that's it. Everybody, it's 100% Google. Isn't that incredible? Other search engines are available. But yeah, do you ever feel... So let's talk about our searches. As you said, you can do multiple searches. Do you ever feel bogged down by the amount of information you get on a search?
I didn't get the meaning of bogged down.
Overwhelmed.
I don't know.
Too much information.
Too much. Yes, sometimes Google also provide a lot of information which is not really required for me. So sometimes I bug down.
Yeah, absolutely. You can get bogged down in the details, and sometimes I get distracted because the search results come back and what I was searching for is there, but I see something more interesting, not related to what I was searching for, and I go off and I just lose what I was searching for.
Yeah, and the problem is if you don't open the link, you think, oh, this is interesting, but you just going, but you just continuing searching for something else that more interesting maybe, and you will lose that link again, and you can't find it anymore. It's terrible sometimes. Yep. I think, where is it?
If you don't open it, you've lost it. You can look in your search history. But yes, you can easily, and you think, oh, what was that link again? What was the search? What did I search for? It's easy to get bogged down by too much information. Now, of course, you can use bogged down literally. We saw, those of you who were in yesterday's session, we saw that photograph of the people in the mud at Glastonbury. They were bogged down too. Your car can get bogged down. But you can also be metaphorically bogged down. Okay? And that's what too much information can do to you.
Yeah. Sometimes we can track what and all the search term we had searched in Google using a Google activity. So it's the Google provides the feature, so we can track all the search term which we had searched in an entire week or complete day. So it's pretty much a good advantage if we are using a Google search engine.
It can be. I mean, when you think about the amount of information out there, Google does a pretty good job of filtering to try to get what you wanted. But for example, if you just wanted to find the definition of bogged down, so if you just search for bogged down, you will get lots of dictionary for results, but you'll also get 6,210,000 other results. Now, nobody's got time to look at all that. And yes, April, you're right. You have to open the link first. Now, Google is trying to help us more. So if you were to use some of the little tricks like news or define, you can often get the definition in a little box at the top. That can be quite useful. You can get a little definition right at the top. Or if you use the news one on news, put Ness in, news, let's put Houston in because they're hitting the news at the moment. Then you'll get lots of news related articles about Harvey, the Hurricane Harvey, and what's happening in Houston. So you can use, but you need to know how to. Otherwise, if you just enter a simple search term, you will get millions, if not billions, of results nowadays. You stop searching after 10 pages. Really? You go that far, April? I'm a first page girl, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but it's not fair actually, because maybe there are a lot of interesting things in the next pages, but it's
they
just
never get to look in.
Too
No.
tiring.
People say it's generally the general consensus is that most people go 3 pages in and then stop, which, as you say, may not be fair. It could be a very well written website, but they don't know how to get the good search results. So that's life. That is life. Okay, so in the text, oh no, I've lost it. That's clever. In the text, it says that your brain is a beast at processing stimuli. And what's it mean when it says it's a beast? If I say, it sounds a bit strange, doesn't it? Your brain is a beast. I don't want it to be beastly.
Wild animal?
Yeah, it sounds like it, doesn't it? Hungry? No, not hungry. It's an idiomatic expression. Okay. Now, it can sound negative. It's not uncontrollable either. It just means it's really good. It's very good. It's what your brain's for, processing. It's the biggest processor. Forget your computer. Forget the supercomputers. Your brain is the best processor in the universe that we've found so far. Yeah, it can collect. That's it, Rima. Well done. Yeah, that's it. It collects a lot of information very quickly, very efficiently. Okay. So a car can be a beast. Yeah, that means it's a big, fast car. So that word beast has got other definitions. You need to know, look at it in context. Is this a positive thing or a negative thing? My brain's a beast? No, it's a lovely brain. It doesn't mean anything negative or wild. It just means it's amazing at what it does. Okay. It's a bit slow, yours. Mine too. Mine too. Now that's when it can be quite confusing, because you then go to Google, you look up the definition of beast, and you find an animal large or dangerous. You think, my brain? It's not not 4-footed animal. It's not dangerous. You can also find it means violent or cruel. well, my brain's not cruel or violent. And right at the end, you have to do a bit of searching and you have to open the link. Yeah. And right at the end, it says a thing possessing a specified quality. Okay. In this case, the ability to process. Okay. So if you want to talk about getting bogged down, learning English vocabulary, learning any vocabulary in any language, that can really bog you down. Okay, so have any of you ever worked in a busy, noisy office? Or in a busy, noisy environment? I mean, April, you worked in hospitals. It must have been very, sometimes very noisy.
Yeah, but it is different, I think, if you are in an office, because I'm working with my hand and feet, not really sitting in a desk, at a desk, on a desk,
At a desk,
at
a desk.
at a desk, at a desk, and then concentrating to find only for my my brain. But I can talk and work together at the same time. So I talk to the patient, for example, and I do my job as a nurse. I do the nursing, and I talk. So it's different than in an office job. I think a desk working. And if I'm not, and today my TV is not yet on, but normally it is on the whole time whilst I'm working on my computer. But I'm not disturbed by the sounds.
Oh, you have the television on in a session?
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh my goodness! I always have everything switched off. Awesome. Nina, you worked in a call center. What was that like? Take the mic, Nina.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I worked in a call. What was it like for you?
Oh, it's no good. It's very terrible. A lot of noise. People talking at the same time. You can't hear the client talking to you on the phone. It's terrible. Yeah, huge place. A lot of computer and people walking the other side and talking. It's terrible.
And did it make you feel overwhelmed sometimes? Did you feel like screaming?
Oh, I can't explain my feelings. It's really sad sometimes. I would like to disappear. Just disappear in the world.
Yeah, no. I've worked in a call center myself. I know exactly what you mean. Constant ringing, constant people talking, sometimes even shouting, and
yeah.
Oh yeah. Not my favorite job ever, I tell you. Manju, take the mic.
Thank you. I work for a software industry, and basically I'm a programmer. While I'm working, the next next colleague used to talk to his teammate via Skype or something like remote working, while we're remote working. So people used to do a lot of disturbance. While I was thinking to write some solution, they're talking about something which is about their family or about their next weekend plan. So it's really disturbing at that time. That's my situation.
Yeah, I mean, are you in an open plan office?
Yes, basically while working in a company, there will be here who work in same desk or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's open plan offices are terrible if you're trying to do anything that involves thinking or planning or creating. I agree. I mean, yes, sometimes they have a place in the world, but the way they're used by in every industry now, it's absolutely crazy. In Germany, generally, you get your own office. At a certain level, you get your own office because they realize you need time, or you need an office you can go to where you can just sit and think quietly and plan and write things out and not be disturbed, as you say, by everybody else around you. And someone else can steal your ideas. Oh, Rima.
No, much my ideas I reveal to anyone. But while constantly thinking on some ideas, it will get distracted. Other other sounds or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can't close the door and it's all going on around you and you just, again, you end up feeling overwhelmed. Also, the other one, I don't know if you've ever done this. Have you ever done any hot desking, any of you? Have you heard of hot desking? Okay, it's where you don't even have your own desk anymore. It's an open plan office and you find a desk. And tomorrow you have to find a different desk. And the idea is that because people are often in the gig economy, they're only working for a short time in a place, they won't get a desk assigned. They'll have to hot desk. So you're hopping round from desk to desk each day, if not twice a day, after lunch as well. It's a crazy way of running an organisation. Like in a market, yeah, it's just like that. I mean, you can imagine, you go in, you were sat at one place, somebody's sitting there, and you only went to the toilet. Flexibility, yes. But of course, everybody wants the window seat, and nobody wants to work next to the toilets. Oh dear, I'm so glad I don't work in an office anymore. I've got my own office. If it's noisy, it's my own fault. Okay, so in the text it also said when you go home. So let's go round, ask everybody, what do you do when you go home? Tough guy. What's the first thing you do when you go home after work?
Nowadays, I just told you, right, a few days ago that I haven't been working for about 2 years because of a disease. I did for 2 years, but earlier, whenever I got home from work, at that time, I was working night shifts. So right after coming, arriving home, I used to go to gym early in the morning at 5. That's what I used to do.
Oh, straight to the gym. Now, why did you do that? Why did you go to the gym? Was it to relax? Or did you want to just keep fit?
Yeah, it's my favorite to do. Actually, I wanted to compete for Mr. Delhi, but I couldn't do that because of the financial condition. So it's my passion to do this. So that's why.
Okay, good. Yeah. Sorry, I've forgotten what you'd said. I mean, when I say when you get home from work, when you got home from work, when you used to get home from work. So, yeah, thanks for reminding me. But yeah, I mean, some people do know how to... that sounds like you had a good plan there, Tough. You did something completely different from work. Nina, what do you do? Get home from work?
I always stay at home on the box, in front of the box, garden or make something like that. Or sometimes I take care of my garden, the back garden, and that's it. That's it.
Oh,
I
you do some
always
gardening.
stay at
Okay.
my home. Yeah, the back garden. So I love my home, so I stay here every time. Nowadays.
Okay. But you did mention sitting in front of a box. Too much time?
For the box, but no open TV. Just I choose my videos about studying English, some series, but especially on United Kingdom, but no open TV.
Okay, so it's not constantly on. Okay.
Okay.
So, Traum, what about when you get back from work? What do you do?
Oh, the first thing I had done when I was working, I changed my clothes for a casual ones.
Okay.
And then, no, when I enter the house, I change my shoes, then I wash my hands, then I put on other things, casual things, and then I prepare something to eat. Yes, and so I come down slowly to a relaxed way.
State. Good. Shiny, what about you? When you've had a busy day, you get home, what do you do? Stare at the ceiling. Okay. That sounds relaxing, actually. Okay. Manju, what about you? When you get home from work, what do you do?
Basically, I'll fresh myself for a while by taking a shower, and then thereafter I'll spend around 20 minutes on meditation. I do meditation, and then I have food. There watch YouTube videos like TEDx and some very interesting videos. Thereafter, I'll start continuing to chat with the people to improve my English, and I'll take a nap.
Oh, excellent. And you meditate. Oh, that sounds a good idea. Yeah. That's a nice way to come down from the stress.
Yeah, it's really allows me to concentrate, and it allows me to not stress much, so I can concentrate and focus on everyday activities very consciously.
Good. That sounds like a good plan. What about you, Marco?
Well, it's more the same as the other said, like but it's changeable from day to day. But usually I spend time with my family, and I don't know, like as Hermine said, is usually I get changed and watching TV or something like it, or maybe doing something on my laptop, but it's from day to day. It's varied, but it's not so fixed, so that I will do the same thing every day. Like mess, it's changeable.
Okay, it depends. My favourite answer, it depends. April, when you used to get home from work, what did you do?
In when my son was still a little boy, so I always have a night shift like tough guy, but then if when I came home, I made breakfast for him, and I took him to I drove him to school, and then I go home. I went home and prepared myself for sleep for sleep. But sometimes also after midnight shift, after night shift, it could be possible that I didn't go to sleep, but I went for the tennis for 2 hours, and after that, just after that, Then I went to sleep. Or there was also a period when I still work, and after my shift, I opened my laptop and I followed your session at 9 o'clock. Oh, it was at 8 o'clock even, in the beginning.
That
We
was,
have
yeah,
also,
that was when I was
yeah.
crazy enough to get up early. It
Yeah,
was an
then
8 o'clock session. Oh, you used to come home
yeah,
from
8
work
o'clock
and
session.
log in. Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
realise.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you see. I was
Ah.
so enthusiastic at that moment. Now it's
I'm
9
impressed.
o'clock. It's already too early.
Yeah, for me too. For me too. And Reem, what about you? When you were out in the work, I know you're at home mostly now, but what did you used to do, Reem, when you got home from work?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Do you hear? Yes.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Actually, yes. I'm not work every days. I work in home. As I said previous, I teach previously, but if I am was busy in work, after that, after I finished, if I work or I take lessons. After I finished, I must go to notice the messes that the children make and make food lunch. And after that, if I have a busy day, a very busy day, I am tried to look after the children and sleep. Try to go to sleep. After sleep, I prefer to watch TV or maybe chat with my friends and take a cup of hot milk. But I can't sleep if I am was very have a busy day. I can't sleep directly. I must just relax, have some time to relax, watch TV, chat, or anything.
Okay, so it's amazing how many of you, especially the ladies here, go home and start working after work.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem fair.
The horrible thing is that when you finish your work and go to the home, and we notice that the all is wait you to prepare the things. Nobody make anything.
Yep, it's just...
Your husband, your kids.
It's one of those things, I'm afraid. We are our own worst enemies, though, because we do it. We do it. Of course, if we do it, nobody else is going to. Not they trust you. They trust you, Rena. Trust you. Trust. Yeah. I mean, relaxing is, well, sometimes it's not so easy to do. It's best to have a routine, and that's where yoga and meditation and Tai Chi, those kind of things can really help. If you do them regularly, they become part of your routine, and they are super relaxing, I have to say. Even if it doesn't work at first, you just keep at it, and eventually you realise without it, you miss it, and you make yourself do it. You make time to make time. That's a difficult one. Okay, well, I don't think everybody's going to get to read today, but it's nice to talk about these things. But Shiny, wakey, she's fallen asleep. Shiny. Okay, Shiny, if you'd like to take us to the end of the text, of this text, okay?
Okay, thank you. The risk of chronic overstimulation is extremely high and can have profound negative effects for a prolonged period of time unless corrective steps are taken. Conclusion: technology is a blessing there can be no argument there. However, the way we use it needs to be regulated. There are no rules. You have to learn how to regulate it yourself. Otherwise, the tools you use could end up using you. Technology should aim to free up our time, to enable us to do the things that matter most, not to detract from the world around us and overload our brains.
Very good. Nicely read. Now, I noticed that with detract, you wanted initially to say distract, didn't you?
Yes.
But you corrected yourself. Well done. But it makes me want to ask you, do you know the term to detract from? Have you come across that term? If something detracts from something.
Pull us away?
It's not to replace, no, it's to diminish the value or worth of something. Yeah.
To make something belittle.
Yeah, to belittle it, yeah, to belittle something, to make it smaller than it is. And that's what we mustn't let technology do. And I do fear it is doing it. It's detracting from the world. The world's a fantastic place, you know, and technology is fascinating and it can be fun, but we shouldn't let it detract from what's going on around us. So yes, distract as well, because it is a distraction. You know, come in, switch on the computer or the laptop, and suddenly you're in another world, and you suddenly realise, oh, it's time to go to bed. You've missed everything that's going on around you, with your family, with your friends. In the meantime, that's it. Yeah. Well done, Manju. To detract, it often goes with the word from. To detract from something. Okay. So, do you think this technology is a blessing? There can be no argument there. Do you all believe that technology has improved your lives? Has it added something to your lives, or do you feel you've had something taken away? Oh, hang on, Sam. Let me just ask April. Make us easier. Make us.
I mean, make our life easier.
That's better.
Yeah.
It's made our lives easier. Yep. Okay. Tram, you were saying something?
Yes. You asked us if the technology of using internet does make our life easier. Was the question?
Well, not just the internet, the technology we have around us. That would include the television, the smartphone, your mobile phone, cell phone, whatever you want to call it. Has it made your lives easier, or do you feel you've lost something?
Not easier, but I get the education, English lessons. That's very useful for me. So there is no need to leave the house. But they show so many things on YouTube or internet or whatever that is so useless and sometimes not true. And I think that's the point where we should pay attention, that we not run everywhere we don't want to go.
So you don't get sucked in by all the kitten videos.
Yes,
cats jumping into boxes is my favourite.
I hate this. No, it's awful. It's a time consuming. It's useless. But when I see my kids, each of them, and nowadays my husband too, they come home and then they watch their telephone, their phone. That's the handy. no, not handy, the cell phone. It's amazing. They read all the messages they got in, and wow, no, that's not so good. It's not a good development, I would say. Development, the right word, Lynn?
Yeah, a development as in a change. It's not a good change. It's not a good development in their lives and what they do. Interesting, yes. Maybe you need to have a box where everybody puts their smartphone in when they come in. You have to at least talk for 10 minutes together.
Yes. But I have to say, when we eat, then it's forbidden. I do not allow them to use the phone when we eat. But I can take me out of this, because I do the same. When I was out shopping, then I go home and of course switch on the computer and look. Maybe someone has written on the forum something, or I got a message from my email. In the email box is some message or so. That's incredible. But this is a good point what you showed us today with the text, and I will care. I will care for myself better, so that I'm not consume all the rubbish we get.
Well, as it says in the text, and it's something I've written together with someone else, there are no rules. That's it. You've got the technology. Yes. Nobody's going to tell you what to do with it. You have to control it's about self-discipline, yes. I think. And
same as we started to drive. There were nearly no. They could drive without a sign to see a sign, and so on. It has improved, always better and better. So each driver is trained to do the right things. Yes, and we use the internet without any rules, and that's very dangerous for each individual.
It can be, I think. That said, I wouldn't want little messages to be popping up on my screen saying, Lynn, you've been on the internet for an hour now. It's time to take a break. I would be very annoyed at that.
Yes. I say I'm like a dog who runs after each bone it sees.
Yeah, I'm like that too, I'm afraid. As I said, I search for one thing and I end up on something so bizarrely different to what I was searching for. I think, no, what was I meant to be doing? Manju, take the mic. You'll be the last one, okay?
Yeah, when it comes to technology, there are a lot of advantage and disadvantage. For example, if we take artificial intelligence, there are a couple of solutions which reduce our human efforts. But in the same way, if we use the artificial intelligence as a robot or war machine, it is a completely disaster, and with this, it can erase a human race. So technology is a born advantage for us, but the situation and the context which we are using should be very aware, and we should be very aware and conscious about it. Otherwise, it will be very completely problem for us. For example, let's say kids are nowadays playing a video games using a computer rather than having a lot of physical activities, so that could be a problem. And also people are using a lot of social and networking platform to communicate with people. That's fine, but for very many instances, the colleagues which I'm working with them, after they used to sit in a room and they used to see the mobile phone and communicating with the next
person. Okay, mind you, I'm afraid your connection is going, so we didn't quite catch the last of that. You can write what you think in the article, okay, and I can give you some feedback on that. But yeah, I got up to about most of it, and then it started to break up. When you see in the comments 1212, Yeah, you spoke very well, actually. When you see 1212, it means your connection is breaking, and so we weren't able to catch everything. But everything you said up to that point, you made some good points. In fact, that's the sort of question you get asked in English exams, by the way, or language exams, by the way. What are the advantages and disadvantages of technology today? I got that in my German exam, actually. Can you believe everything you read on the internet? I went, no. Yes, well done. So, and Nina, you're quite right. Yes, well, it's the same with everything. It's the same with anything that we do. We need to know what we're doing, and we need to be aware of what we're doing, and we need to control it. We're not there for the technology. The technology is there for us. And yet sometimes I do think we're becoming slaves to it. Every time your phone beeps, you go running to it to see what it was, you know. Just let it be. If it's urgent, they'll phone. You can do both. You can lose a lot of money on the internet. You can earn a lot of money on the internet, depending what you're willing to do on the internet. You can spend a lot of useful time on the internet. Traum made a very good point. You can learn so much on the internet. There's so many learning opportunities now on the internet. However, there's also cat videos of cats jumping into boxes. I'm not sure what I've learnt about that. Oh, by just playing poker? Oh, no, I don't gamble on the internet. No.
Both examples in one.
Yes, absolutely.
Advantage and disadvantage.
Well, I did tell you, April, you can buy bitcoins on the internet. You can also lose a lot on bitcoins on the internet.
But it is going up and rising and rising. The whole
and what
time.
happens when things rise? What happens when things go up? Eventually, they fall.
It is going down again.
Yeah. It's all about timing. You should have bought them when they first came out. Then you'd be laughing. You wouldn't have lost anything. $1 for a Bitcoin it was. So I didn't buy any, by the way. I do not own any Bitcoins. Although I'm a bit of a fan of the idea of Bitcoins. Once it got stupid, I was like, nah, it's just silly money now. People are speculating on it. I don't like speculation. That's also true, Traum. That's also true. People sharing knowledge, not just learning sort of like courses, but sharing skills, how to knit, how to crochet, your favourite family recipes, all going on the internet, being shared. I love that aspect. I really love that aspect of the internet, the sharing of knowledge. You can get the solution to a problem, Manju, as well. You can also find out that you've got problems you never thought you had, because there's always somebody willing to tell you you've got a problem. Okay, so we will stop there for this week. Next week we'll start reading a different article, okay? And if you'd like to, you can sort of prepare your souls for it. And it's about laughter and how we can use laughter to counteract some of the negative parts of our lives. Okay, so if you want to do a bit of pre-reading, feel free to, but that's what we'll be reading next week. I'm a great believer, as you know, in the power of laughter. Okay? You're welcome.
Next week there is no session, Ellen.
Oh, next week. No, sorry, next session. Thank you. I must stop saying next week. I'll be around on Discord next week with Amatsu, but there won't be an actual session here unless you want to meet up at Google headquarters and talk amongst yourselves or discuss things, which you're more than welcome to do. You don't need me to be here. You've got access to this area. Once you know how to come here, you can meet up and have an informal discussion about anything. Okay? So thank you very much for coming. I'll see you in 2 weeks here. But keep an eye on Discord, because Amatsu wants to know how to use it. So there'll be little training sessions going on. And we'll maybe talk about Vikings a bit, Marco. Okay,
Great.
Take care. We'll be in Google Hangouts today for Talk to the Hand. And it will be a new topic about food. Okay, slightly different look at food though.
Okay.
See you there. Bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye all.